Welcome to Brown Bird News. It seems like raccoons have multiplied and now they're visiting everybody's backyards looking for an easy source of food. We've been actually receiving a lot of emails, people asking us what to do about bird feeders and raccoons. Well, there are a couple of things you can do. First, you can get a pole like I have here with a long baffle like this. Make sure it's long enough so raccoons can't climb over it. And also make sure you don't place your pole right under the tree, because that way raccoons will just climb up the tree and jump from the tree onto your pole, and they will be quite happy emptying your bird feeders. If you can't put a pole like I have in my backyard, then there are a couple of things you can do to secure your feeders. Let's have a look. You can secure your feeders with a carabiner like that. They're very dexterous, but still it's really hard for them to unhook a carabiner. And another thing. And here's an example with a hook. This is not actually ideal because raccoons will climb over any surface like this and they will empty your feeder, but at least like this, they won't damage it or they won't take it somewhere to a field and destroy it there. So zip ties are always very handy. Just put them like this and tighten it, and voila. Hi David, this week's question for you is about raptors, your favorite topic, so I'm sure you'll have no problem answering this question. It's from Carol Johnson, who lives in Portland, Indiana. Here's what she writes. We were lucky enough this summer to have nesting hawks in our yard. We're not sure what kind, but we think they're Cooper's hawks. We've watched as they fledged and have enjoyed their presence in the neighborhood. I've seen them chasing a rabbit, which he didn't catch, and one who tried catching a squirrel under our feeders. Again, unsuccessful. In fact, the hawk flew away and the squirrel just kept on eating. It was scary when one hit our window, but fortunately it wasn't hurt. I love watching them and hearing their calls to one another. I'm wondering how long they will stay around. And also, will the parents return to the same nest next year?
Hi, Carol. I'm really glad to hear that you're enjoying the Cooper's hawks on your property. I studied birds of prey for over 40 years, and it always saddens me to receive emails from those who want to get rid of hawks for whatever reason. After all, they have to make a living too. Youngsters fledging from a nest can be fed by their parents for a period up to 7 weeks, but during that time they do practice catching anything from large insects to rabbits, squirrels, and birds up to dove and pigeon sizes. And because they're not that successful initially, it might explain why that squirrel just yawned and kept on feeding with a hawk nearby. A given pair of nesting Cooper's hawks will occasionally use the same nest, but more often build a new one in the same territory. As long as there's ample food and decent nest building locations, you should be enjoying these birds in your yard for years to come. These hawks are indeed migratory, especially those nesting in Indiana and northward, so look for them to depart from your area in late September to late October.
Well, 2 more birds have just joined the elite intelligentsia of the bird world. The Barbados Bullfinch and the Carib Grackle have successfully completed a task that was testing their problem-solving abilities. The birds had to repeatedly pull on a string that was attached to a box that had food in it. The study involved wild birds, not the ones raised in captivity, and more than 80% of the birds tested successfully passed it. The amazing thing about these 2 species of birds is that they have never been considered to have great cognitive skills. Well, the more scientists study birds, the more they realize how smart birds are. When we see a sign that says, please don't feed the birds, we never think that by doing so we'll be putting our lives in danger. But in Australia, that's just the case. The cassowary is one of the most aggressive birds in the world, and at over 5 feet tall with razor-sharp talons, it's as dangerous as an angry bear. And in the past few years, there has been an increase in attacks by these birds. So the Australian Department of the Environment and Heritage Protection is trying to figure out why these birds continue continue to break into people's houses and attack them? Well, it turns out that in most cases, cassowaries had been fed by people in the community, and they have come to expect food from people. So when they see humans but get nothing to eat, well, they get really angry. To make things worse, cassowaries are in danger, so in every case, a wildlife specialist has to be called to relocate the angry birds, normally after they've trashed a house or two. What would your insurance think of that? The town of Davie, Florida is already home to a lot of different bird species, including burrowing owls, wood storks, egrets, herons, but the town wants to take it a step further and turn the whole town into a bird sanctuary, protecting all species, including the non-native ones like the Muscovy duck. The Muscovy is considered a pest, but the town is determined to protect them because they eat rodents and mosquitoes, the two bigger pests that are thought to spread the Zika virus. I think it's a wonderful initiative and a lot more towns should follow them. If we make enough small changes, the bigger ones will follow. A few episodes ago, I talked to you about the Merlin app, which I absolutely love. You know how many times we've gone for walks and seen a bird that we couldn't identify, and Merlin was always there. So now Merlin is learning how to bird, and to do so, it needs to have at least 1,000 pictures for each bird. Follow the link to find the list of birds and how to submit your pictures. And get out your cameras and happy snapping. Well, it's raining, so I won't be that long. Let's check out the top 5 this week. And the winner is a Peg Runyon, and we're sending her a Squirrel Buster Classic. Congratulations, Peg. We'll see you next week.